What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com, host of the Sports Card Strategy Show. Welcome to Lefty Cards right here on the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network, discussing the latest trends, best practices, and insider tips on sports card investing. This episode is brought to you by NoOffSeason.com, the number one place to make money flipping sports cards. Get a free 30-day trial today at NoOffSeason.com. And now, everybody, it's time for Lefty Cards.
What's up? What's up? We are here for another episode of Lefty Cards. This one is going to be action-packed with some NBA lessons. And I'm going to go to my man Interner on some card tricks for what we've got going on. Of course, we got a gauntlet here because as we have seen recently, Turner Time is filled with gauntlets and great opportunities for us to put matchups of cards side by side into what we love to call the gauntlet, and we narrow it down to a card that we love. We're going to be talking about buys and sales of the week, as I acquired a pretty big card that we've been kind of hunting over the last couple of weeks, and what we've talked about on the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Strategy Show. I want to bring a card forward that we've had in our crosshairs on the Sports Card Strategy Show, and I want to talk to Turner about what he thinks about the future of this card. Without further ado, thanks for bringing us in. We are here with Turner, and Turner shouts, everybody. The season's starting quickly, my friend. You guys have a game on Friday night?
Friday night. It's away, but it's starting up.
Friday night. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. Yeah, I think that we're ready. Of course, we're taking it day by day with practice just to build up for this moment, and just because once the season starts, we're gonna hit the ground running. So,
what's up? Pick Six Card says, "What's up, yo?" He also says, "What's up, Lefty and Paul?" What's up, Lefty and Turner? And Paul will be listening to this later, as he is the guy that works behind the scenes for the Lefty Card Show. But we will be coming at you on Wednesday for a premium pod episode that is going to be airing on Friday. But we will be together on Wednesday. But Paul will be solo because I will be out of town. Joel Kaplan says, "What's up?" Kaplan always hit me with the DMs. We love having you there, Joel. And Friday is like we talked about, is a big day for Turner, but CCL, I believe, is the conference you guys are in.
CCS.
The volleyball team and the soccer team have done well in their first season in Division III CCS ball. So I'm looking forward to how the basketball team that is dear to my heart, as I coached there when Turner was in 6th grade, is definitely going to be showing in a new conference. Going to be some cool new games, new teams, new rivalries being set up. And I'm excited to see how that lays out. But back to sports cards, we have something in 8 days away from now. We will be rolling into what is called the Emirates Basketball Cup or League Cup. And that is the in-season tournament. That is what we're going into, but it's the first season of what's called the Emirates League Cup, I think is what it's called. League Cup. I know it's sponsored by Emirates this year, but it is the basketball.
So is the final going to be held there?
In the Emirates? I don't know, but it's called the Emirates NBA Cup 2024. The finals will be held, I believe, in Las Vegas is where it's all going to accumulate. The teams will be competing for what's called the NBA Cup, as we saw last year. I think It was just called the League Cup, but this year they've sold their sponsorships to the Emirates. I would assume it's Fly Emirates. Cup night will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 12th to December 3rd. And strategically, why I wanted to bring this up is I think just like last year, we saw Halliburton's cards go crazy during the tournament. There's a good opportunity for us to have a good hype cycle for a potential for somebody. We saw LeBron's prices go up too during this circuit run too. So each team plays 4 teams in its group stages. We have 2 home, 2 away. They do the fancy court thing. I'll tell you this, Turner, the courts already look better this year than they've looked last year. I don't know if you've looked into this. Last year, they were just a fever dream. It was horrendous. The courts looked just god awful last year, but they do look better this year. And NCAA starting today, NCAA women starting today. So we've got our Paige Beckers out there. We've got our Cooper Flags that are probably going to be going into some sort of Panini Instant or Tops Now coming into the next, I would imagine, in the next 7 days. So quite a big
Fingers
basketball
crossed.
chunk over the next 8 days, and probably some big cards that we'll be buying into over the next 8 days. How excited are you for that?
I'm very excited. I speaking of women's basketball, I kept up, and USC women's either today or yesterday had a big game against Ole Miss. They survived a scary one, but Juju Watkins doing good, starting off the season. I want to say she either had 22 or 27 points, one of the two, and a big win for number 3 USC.
Yeah, so it looks like there is a game. Let's see. They played Ole Miss to this morning at 9 a.m. They did have a scary one, a 2-point finish. Juju Watkins, where's she at? Going down the box score here. Juju Watkins played 40 minutes, which I believe is the whole game, and she went for 27, 10, 5, 3, 4, and 9 turnovers. She had 5 blocks. Not bad. So definitely is a good start for her career, or not for her yearly rollout. She's a sophomore this year, so we have yet to figure out exactly when she's going to be entering the WNBA draft. I believe she has to hold on another year, which could give us a whole nother year to be buying Juju Watkins cards. And she has that little ball on the top of her head when she plays. So interesting hairstyle that I like a lot. She is playing for the SC Trojans, 2-time national champions. But the girl that I'm really looking forward to is Paige Beckers. And Paige Beckers will be playing here pretty soon. I think UConn plays tonight, actually. So excited about that. UConn women's basketball is always a spectacle, and they play November 7th, which is Thursday, against Boston University. And so pretty excited about that. We'll look forward to how Paige comes forward. She had a little bit of a knock, I believe, last year, if I'm not mistaken, but she played November 3rd, which is last night, in the final exhibition against Fort Hays, 89-49. The box score is probably ridiculous as I look into it. Paige Beckers. Yeah, she played 27 minutes last night, was 12 for 14 from the field with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. So another good stat line for our girl Paige, but they destroyed this team. So definitely not the first competitive game. Boston University is on Thursday. And then we'll see her first ranked matchup, I believe, against going down the schedule here. None of the rankings are up. Oh, yes, they are. Nope. No, they're not. So their first real matchup against a solid team is going to be that matchup against North Carolina. She also plays South Florida November 10th. So she's got some games coming up next week that are going to be pretty important. So looking forward to that. And Cooper Flagg's playing tonight. I know you're excited. I know you're excited about that.
I'm super pumped about that. It's
what your expectations are for Coop.
Well, first off, I'm going to say that it's a sports fan's like Christmas right now. We've got all the main sports coming up. We've got college basketball. We've got college football. We've got NFL. We've got NBA. I know that baseball just wrapped up, but baseball is a part of this too. It's an awesome time to be a sports fan. But
yeah, several equinoxes, if you know what that is, where all the main sports play on the same day.
Oh, okay.
It's called a sports equinox.
Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. But I expect Flagg to he's not going to be the top scorer every night for them because they've got multiple solid guys, but he's going to have the highlight plays. He's going to average like 2 or 3 blocks a game. He's going to have those like 3 or 4 dunks that you're going to see on SportsCenter every night. He's going to solidify himself as the number 1 pick, if not the number 1, then the number 2 pick. And I say that just because Ace Bailey for Rutgers is another potential number 1 pick. But Cooper Flagg playing against Maine, where he's originally from, he's definitely going to try to go off tonight.
Yeah, he's exploding in the box score already with 100% assist to turnover ratio with 1 assist and 0 turnovers. So
there you go. There you go.
He's incredible. He can't miss. But I do expect Cooper Flagg to have a good game tonight. But I expect him to actually sit early in this game because I believe that Maine will get destroyed. I don't know what the line was. The line was 32.5 to Duke. So that I don't think Cooper will play a whole lot this game. I will look forward to the Duke Blue Devils going quite far in the tournament this year.
They are deep.
I know you are not a Duke fan, but I am a Duke fan. And they do play your Kentucky Wildcats on the 12th, and that should be exciting. So that'll be their first big matchup.
Let me just say, I am not a Duke fan, but I am a realistic basketball fan.
Okay.
So I think it's Duke's to lose this year. That's my prediction with that. I think that Duke is so loaded to the fact that they have like veterans and they have top recruits coming in. Like this should be their year, but we'll see. It's early.
So who do you see coming out of the ACC? Do you think it's Duke?
Yeah, 100%.
Who do you see coming out of the Big East? Think it's UConn?
Yeah.
There's some good teams in the Big East, bro. I love Big East basketball. It's just so exciting.
UConn loaded up though. Still, again, they've got some underrated guys. I forget the point guard's name that they got another like kind of sleeper, kind of like Cam Spencer last year. If you watched enough UConn to see that Cam Spencer was a UConn guy last year from, I want to say an Ivy League school, perhaps, but. Dan Hurley finds some underrated guards that are just gritty, will dive on the floor, get a nosebleed for you, and he's got a couple 5 stars coming in. So I still think that UConn is going to be pretty solid this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Peterson's nation's number 1 shooting guard recruit picks Kansas, and that's unfortunate. But other than that, Cooper Flagg is the guy that's going to be the guy getting the media attention this year. I think he's the big college basketball player this year that's going to have a lot of cards, going to probably go 1-1. He's likely to go 1-1 at this point, unless a guy sneaks up there. There's a good guy from Baylor, good top freshman. We like what we're seeing down there. Big 12 basketball is always huge. You got Iowa State, you got Baylor, you've got Kansas, you've got several other teams down there that are very good basketball teams. And then tonight you've got Baylor versus Gonzaga, which is always a unique matchup. So it's 8 versus 6. You've got that in the Finley tip-off tonight at 11:30. Gonzaga's line is 5.5, but the Baylor freshman is looking pretty deep. I would expect that to be a really exciting game. And then my Texas A&M Aggies are actually ranked good this season. Buzz Williams got them coming in at 13th. College basketball is really unique because it's a spectacle that everybody loves in America. So how do we basically make a play in regards to sports cards? Zach Edey had some cards last year, but it just wasn't really a good matchup. Reed Shepherd had some cards. Dillingham had some cards. But it's just like there wasn't necessarily some guys that we really see that'll be really influential last year in the sports card market until they made the NBA draft. I think that'll be different this year because Cooper Flagg will take the cake, and then we will actually see, I think, a better resolve in sports cards from a college basketball standpoint in the women's game this year. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think with both cases, even it's going to come down to March because March Madness is like a huge thing whenever you get the spotlight on you. But no, with Caitlin Clark kind of being a pioneer last year with the women's basketball card space, I think that it can take off this year just because you've got, like, we've talked about Paige, we talked about Juju. Like, women's basketball in general is starting to be put on more of a pedestal than it has before with WNBA, with women's NCAA. Like, it's getting a lot more coverage. Like, there are a lot more people, like, putting money behind it to where it's getting a lot more promotion. And so the opportunities are going to, like, be a lot more than they were, say, 2 years ago.
Do you see a guy like Mark Sears or Hunter Dickinson being a player that, because they are both seniors, even a guy like Johnny Broom from Auburn, they're all seniors, and they probably will have cards. I mean, where do you see those kind of cards being? Do you see them in being investable at all?
The only one out of the three that you said, I'm going to go with Mark Sears as possibly, because Broom and Dickinson, yeah, they're going to be in the spotlight, but they're not going to have the ball in their hands besides the post. Mark Sears is a good point guard who can score the ball like crazy, and he did during the NCAA tournament. And I don't know if he had cards leading up to this, but if he had cards, then they were going to go for a little bit. And Alabama's going to be pretty solid this year. Alabama's going to be up there in the top 5 for most of the year, I think, just because they've got a reloaded class. But Broom and Dickinson are in their 5th years, so unless they go crazy this year, their best years have been behind them. They're both going to still have good, solid years, but of course, they're going to go against 18, 19-year-olds at 24 years old or whatever the heck they're at now. So, yeah.
I like what Ace Bailey's putting together, but he's a freshman just alongside Flag as well, so he doesn't have any cards. But the 1-2 debate, at least from ESPN's perspective, is Cooper Flag versus RJ Davis, which is a senior. RJ Davis does have cards, and he does have Bowman University cards. For instance, I'm looking at a PSA 8 out of 100 right now that has 3 days left that's still 99 cents. Of course, it's a PSA 8. He does have Inception autos and he also has some Bowman University stuff from different years. He has a 2022 and a 2023. The 2023 obviously looks much better because the product just looked better. But we see that he has 2022, 2023 autos. There's a blue color match out of 150 that is it looks amazing, first off, and then he's also got some Bowman University chrome stuff that looks really cool as well. What do you think about RJ Davis?
I think he's a solid player. He's been a good basketball player for a while at UNC now, and it's crazy that I didn't know if he'd get the spotlight just because with him being a guard behind a couple. There's a bunch of guards that have been going through UNC the past couple of years. Like yeah. I'm pretty sure this might be his 5th year, it might be his 4th year, but I'm pretty sure that like he started out with like Cole Anthony, and then like has moved to Caleb Love. So he was in the shadows behind Caleb Love, and even Armando Bacot, he was in the shadows of him. So now it's RJ Davis's team. So this is going to be interesting to see if he can show up every night and just lead the Tar Heels.
I'm going to give you a long shot for a National Player of the Year that I like a lot because I've watched him a lot, but that is Wade Taylor IV, coming back, hitting the transfer portal, ends up coming back to the Aggies in a shocking move to me. ESPN says he might not be the most efficient scorer in the country, but players don't come much more explosive offensively than Taylor IV. He has had 7 games of 30-plus points last season, including a back-to-back effort against Kentucky and Florida in the SEC tournament and a 41-point outing in Arkansas in January. Taylor will be aiming for his 3rd consecutive first-team All-SEC selection. And with us as being a senior this year, he does have one of our favorite types of cards in this discussion. He has some Sports Illustrated for Kids cards. So I would sprinkle a couple of different Wade Taylor cards out there. I mean, he is going to get drafted in the 1st round, most likely here, unless something crazy happens, and he could be top 5. Definitely, in my opinion, going to be a lottery pick. So Wade Taylor is a bucket getter and could be a quick scorer and could rise up draft boards here because a lot of people just don't know who he is because he's on the Aggie team. So
yeah, and I got to see the bad. I mean, of course, it's bad for me as a Kentucky fan. The bad end of some Wade Taylor games because he about beat us in the regular season because I'm pretty sure that was the game that Reed Shepherd hit a game-winning shot. But Wade Taylor hit a ridiculous shot right before that. And then Wade Taylor goes off in the SEC tournament against Kentucky.
Yeah, that SEC tournament, Wade Taylor was something special. He honestly just ran out of gas. Garcia is a quick second for him, so I'd look for Garcia to take a big step this year. But VJ Edgecombe, he's a good player too. Looking forward to seeing how he develops this year as a freshman at Baylor. And there's names all over college basketball this year. It's not as inconspicuous as it was last year. Trey Johnson playing for Texas could be a good could be a good riser as well. So let's jump to our first commercial today, and then I do want to come back to the Emirates Cup and talk about that.
What's up, everyone? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. Why should you subscribe to NoOffSeason.com's premium membership? Do you like the content on this show? Want more? Well, a free 30-day trial membership at NoOffSeason.com gives you a Friday edition of the Sports Card Strategy Show called The Overflow Show. It's a premium podcast for members only every Friday, and you can ask an unlimited amount of questions to build your sports card investment portfolio, and I answer them for you. I put in the work, research, and do the analysis, give you the best possible answer so you can increase your chances of making money flipping sports cards. And if that's not enough reason to sign up for a free 30-day trial today, you get Sports Card School, tons of premium members-only articles, and our new formula-based sports card rankings to help you find the cards with the best ROI to make money in the hobby. Sign up today at NoOffSeason.com.
Love what's going on at nooffseason.com. There's some awesome developments for 2025 that we will eventually roll out. We're very excited about what 2025 is going to look like for our brand. And Turner and Paul and I are working really hard to be able to put some good content in front of you. Let's jump back to the Emirates NBA Cup. I teased that a second ago, but I know that you're a basketball fan. So we've talked college basketball, we've talked women's college basketball, and then we're going to talk the NBA for a second. This is your thing. Like, NBA is where you're at. If I have a specialty in baseball, you have a specialty in basketball. And then I'm third place in the basketball in our business because literally Paul worked for the Pistons, so it doesn't get any better than that. And then you obviously have grown up as a basketball fan with being a son of a college basketball coach, and I'm in third tier as an assistant to an NAIA team. So it's pretty crazy. I've coached college basketball and ended up coming third in the lineup here. But we've got 6 different divisions of 5 in the groups, and I'm just going to go through these really quick, and then I want to hear I'm going to put this graphic actually up on our screen here so we can talk about it for a second, because I want to know who you think comes out of each division, because that will be important for what we talk about with card prices. So let's talk about this West A really quick. You've got the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Kings, the Rockets, and Portland. In my opinion, this is a one-horse race, but I want to hear what you got to say about West A.
Timberwolves are definitely winning this game.
Yeah, I think that the Timberwolves have a really good chance of winning this NBA Cup. I think they're going to put all their chips in on this early, because I think they want to know what kind of team they've got without Karl Anthony Towns. From a high level competitive standpoint, I think we need to really kind of put some stress on this team early to see if we need to go and make another addition, or if the matchups that we have with Gobert, Randall, and all those guys are really going to be able to win an NBA championship. I think they're going to put a lot of chips into this tournament to see how good they are. And I think that we'll see some of their best games in this NBA season early by this cup, the Emirates Cup. So I think Minnesota wins. I think Sacramento has a shot at coming in as a wild card team, but I think that this will be them being a 1-2 thing, and I think the Timberwolves will take it.
Yeah.
East A, we've got the Knicks, the Magic, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Nets, and Charlotte. This one is a little bit tighter, but in my opinion, I think it's still a one-horse race. Who wins this too?
Yeah, I think the only possible way that the Knicks lose this is if the 76ers actually have their players come out and play basketball. That would be nice. But, because you've got Joel Embiid, you've got Paul George just not playing it. But I know that they have some nagging injuries that they need to get over, but the Knicks are a pretty complete team. I know that Mikal Bridges doesn't know how to shoot the ball at the moment, but they're still deep enough to where they're going to beat all these teams or they're going to have the best record out of all these teams in the division. I know that the Magic have been playing well, but Paulo Banchero just got hurt, and so that hurts the Magic's chances. And then the Nets aren't very good, and the Hornets are 50-50 if they're going to show up.
Yeah, I think this could have been the 76ers division, like to really go 1-2 against the Knicks here. But I think the 76ers have so many things. It's going to be a war of attrition this year for them. They're focused on the playoffs. They're not focused on this NBA Cup no matter what. So I think this could be a absolute coming out party for Cam Thomas as he just scores a bundle against the Magic and the Hornets and potentially the 76ers, because all of those teams he can just put up buckets against. So look for Cam Thomas to put up some absolutely ridiculous games, but I think Jalen Brunson and the Knicks take this one as well. West B, obviously my favorite teams in here, but there are some ball teams in here, some big names, and but I think the Thunder come out of this one. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's probably the most difficult out of all of them, in my opinion. I see one of two teams. I could see either the Thunder or the Suns winning this, because I think the Suns look so much better than they did last year. And it's because they got a good veteran point guard. So they didn't have to have Bradley Beal. They didn't have to have Devin Booker running the point guard spot. Tyus Jones is a good point guard for them. And the Suns are looking like a good team under, I think it's Coach Bud, but I could be wrong. But what were you going to say?
I was just going to say the Thunder can probably take this two ways. They can either really compete and do something very similar to what Minnesota's doing, but they know that they have the team that's going to get to be – they're going to be a playoff team, very high ranked probably, right, unless some massive injuries happen, which you just never want – you never hope for. But the thing that could happen here that I'm kind of waffling back and forth between the Suns and the Thunder is the Thunder have a very deep team. And the thing that could benefit them here is I think the matchup of their second team versus the Suns' second team will win games. And you just never can count out the Lakers in something like this. Connect could go off, and this could be.
The Lakers are looking good too with JJ Redick's offense for the Lakers has been like so much better than Darvin Ham's, just because like guys are actually moving off the ball. Yeah. And like setting off ball screens, just creating space that like the Lakers have not had for a couple of years now.
Yeah, their 3-point percentage is looking better this year as well. They've got some guys in there, and so I think actually the Jazz could come up fifth in this division, which is kind of crazy with Markkanen being on that team, because the Spurs, I think they'll try to win this. I think they will. I think they'll try to put their chips forward. I think they might snag a game from somebody, but I don't think they will come out. All right, East B, Bucks, Pacers, great matchup there. And then you've got the Heat, always got a Jimmy bucket. Raptors, they suck. Detroit Pistons, they suck.
All right, I'm going to have a bold statement here, and it's because of one team is looking like an utter crap show these days. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat, and it's because they take stuff seriously every night. They're all business, no emotions in this. Like they play good, solid basketball every night. I don't know what is going on with the Bucks right now. You don't know. Like Giannis is putting up his numbers, and Dame is most nights too. But then there is no one else in that team that wants to like play consistent basketball right now. And then you got the Pacers. Halliburton looks like buns right now. And he's the one who's the captain of that team, and he's got to make them go, and he's averaging like 14 points on 33%. Like, so the Pacers aren't looking too solid right now either. I know it's the start of the season, but like you try to set the tone for the year from the start, and the Heat always, try to stay consistent from game 1 to game 82. And I feel like with Coach Spo in there, he's definitely going to try to think strategy every night against these teams, and I think that they come out of that group.
Yeah, it's crazy that Halliburton's playing so bad that his Prism Silver is down to $200. Prism Silver PSA 10, $200. I ended up getting a steal at $400 last year. Pretty crazy. This card 365 days ago was selling for like $600 pretty consistently, or $500 pretty consistently. So pretty crazy that it's down to $2. But anyway, I agree with your take here. I was actually going to say I don't really know where the Pacers are at right now. I don't really know where the Bucks are at right now. They could use this tournament to figure that out, but you know exactly where the Pistons and the Raptors are, and that's in the gutter. And then so this Miami team could be the team that rises out of this B. I think it's the most competitive group because when you look at the next one of West C, it does look competitive as well. But I think that the parity – now, I'm not going to say they're the best five, and if you're going to match them up against West C would win hands down. These teams are just better right now. Nuggets, Mavs, Pelicans, Grizzlies, and Warriors. This is the group of death, I think, if you ask me.
Yeah, I honestly, though, I think that West B is definitely like 1-2. Like, I know that the Jazz aren't very good, but so I guess like the most consistent, like good teams are in West C. But like it's going to be a grueling night if you're playing against the Thunder, if you're playing against the Suns, if you're playing against the Lakers, or even the Wemby and the Spurs. Like the Spurs are going to put up a fight because they might not make the playoffs, but like right now they have what you call false hope, and false hope can take you a long way still. But so whenever it comes to West C, this is definitely going to sound a little biased because they're my favorite team. I still think that the Mavericks are going to come out of here, and here's my reasoning. The Grizzlies are probably the ones with the best chance of getting with them because the Nuggets are starting to age a little bit, and like a lot of their problems are like showing this year. Like Jokic is getting pretty PO'd at everybody. Like I want to say he said the other night that no one shot the ball good except like Jamal and Mike. That's what he said. Like, and that's like.
So you think their window's closed or closing?
I think their window is starting to slowly close, and like it's just because like their role players are slowly going away. Last year they lost Bruce Brown to I think he signed with the Pacers, and then now he's on the Raptors. But Bruce Brown was a pretty solid role player. Yeah. And then they lost their good starter KCP, and KCP's on the Magic now. KCP's like a 2-time champ now, and his role was basically like defend a good shooter and shoot the ball well. Well, the Nuggets don't really have a whole lot of consistent shooting right now, and just because like Aaron Gordon may go 50% one night, but he might go 14% one night. Yeah. Jokic is going to get his numbers, and Jamal Murray's going to get his numbers, but like you don't really know where the Nuggets' depth is coming from because Russell Westbrook can go 5 of 11 or he can go 1 for 12.
Yeah,
and that's going to happen too.
I think anybody who has anybody whose rosters Westbrook, you can just tell they're not really serious.
Right. Even though like I want the best for Russ, but like he doesn't really know what his role is in the NBA anymore. Yeah. But anyway, back to the Mavericks. The Mavericks improved on one thing of the offseason, or improved on one main thing that they needed to in the offseason. That was shooting. They got Klay Thompson, they got Quentin Grimes, and they got Najee Marshall, all guys who can also defend. Luka's looking good. Kyrie's looking good. Klay's looked good most of the time, just they need to incorporate him a little more. And, of course, the bigs down low and P.J. Washington, Gafford, and Lively, the Mavericks have been looking solid this season so far.
Well, give me a 1 through 5 really quick in this division.
1 Mavericks. 2, I'll go with – I'll still go with the Nuggets because I feel like they can rattle off some wins here, especially with the bigs. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies. Number 4, the Warriors, and number 5, the Pelicans.
Okay, so
and that's
for me,
that's a tough one, I know. And it's one of the main things with the Pelicans is they don't have a 5, and all the other teams have pretty bulky and influential 5s.
What happened to Jonas Valanciunas?
He's with the Wizards now.
Okay. Yeah, I would do Mavs, Grizzlies, Nuggets because I do agree that the Nuggets are struggling to kind of keep up. And then I'm putting Warriors Pelicans as well. Although I do think that the Pelicans have some juice there that could surprise me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to C real quick. I think this one's should be easy, but who knows? The Cavs are out of their minds right now.
Both teams are undefeated, like the Celtics and the Cavs are.
Should be a good one. So I think either way, it's hard for us to determine the two of those, but I think it's clear that it's not going to be the Wizards, the Hawks, or the Bulls. So
What?
yeah, not going to be them. So let me get. I'm going to rattle off 6. I'm actually going to do 8 because 8 make the play in or whatever. I'm going to rattle off 8.
I think
teams.
it's 6. Wait, is it 6 or 8? Because I thought it was just the winner of each.
It is. It's the winner of each, and then a wild card from both sides.
Okay.
So I'm going to rattle off 8 teams, and I want you to give me an investment card-wise that you think could make money if you got in today on one of those teams. You don't have to think about it too much. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. I'm just interested to see. Cavs.
Donovan Mitchell.
Celtics.
Tatum.
Heat.
Jimmy Butler's cards are too old. Maybe Bam.
Okay. Knicks.
Brunson.
Timberwolves.
Ant. I had to think for a second.
Oklahoma City.
Shea or Chet.
Dallas Mavericks.
Luka.
Lakers.
LeBron.
All right. You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going with the Emirates NBA Cup. Hope you liked that little NBA segment. We're going to run our second commercial real quick. We're going to come back with the start of the gauntlet, and then we will be with you quickly.
Kendall, are these people ready to start grading their sports cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today.
What's up, Terry Anderson? You've been back with us. We're coming back live. I just saw your comment, and we are going to do the gauntlet. As we like to talk about Turner time going on here, we have been able to add that as of recently. We are going to jump into the gauntlet here, and I know that you've got a cool gauntlet for us with a little bit of some newness that's going on, some little curveballs, as I like to say, that have been thrown our way. But who do we have up first?
So first off, we're going to go back to basketball here. We've got a 2018 Prism Luka Doncic PSA 10 versus a 2013 Hoops Giannis Antetokounmpo PSA 10. Giannis's card has been going down in price, but I still just want to try to do 1-for-1 here. Do you want to give your vote first, or do you want me to?
I'll give my vote first. I think Luka is actually the investment here, which is crazy because this card right here has gone through some insane ups and downs. This card was worth crazy money at one time. Let me see if I can pull the all data from Market Movers real quick. Yeah, this card sold for almost $2,000 327 times. That is insane value. So there was 762 sales at 1.68. Like, that's a crazy amount of sales for something that high. There was only 58 sales at 1.5K in 2020. So people in 2020 were like, I'm going to spend my whole stimulus check and more on one Luka Doncic card, and I'm going in with a Prism base, 2018 Prism base. So it's unique to have a Prism base card be this valuable, but as of where we're at right now, it is at $209, which is the exact same price as a PSA 10 silver Luka or Tyler Halliburton or Tyrese Halliburton, like we talked about earlier. So I still think I'm taking the Luka card, but and we've seen that Luka card be $250 as of recently, and I do think the Mavericks make a pretty deep playoff run and probably are going to be fighting for that 1, 2, 3 seed out there in the top of the West. So I'm taking Luka. Yeah,
I agree with you. And like I've said before, the Bucks, I don't know what their future is. They look pretty inconsistent right now, and the Mavericks look pretty solid. So give me Luka, baby.
Yeah. All right. What's the next matchup?
All right, the next matchup, we're going to football. We've got 2020 Prism Silver Jordan Love, PSA 10, versus 2022 Prism Silver Brock Purdy, PSA 10.
All right, so we've got a Jordan Love Silver PSA 10. Let me pull that up real quick. I couldn't find this earlier because I thought you put 2023, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I am going to do a Jordan Love Silver PSA 10. And what was the second one?
2022 Prism Brock Purdy Silver PSA 10.
Brock Purdy. And let me just reiterate, that was me that was at fault, not you. I just apparently couldn't read. So, all right. So PSA 10 Jordan Love versus a PSA 10 Brock Purdy, 2020 versus 22. $710 from Brock Purdy, coming in at $849 from Jordan Love, who lost to the Detroit Lions yesterday, who look like an absolute train right now. Brock Purdy and Jordan Love could both be very significant playoff teams, as that was only the Packers' second loss of the season. Who do you got here?
I feel like Brock Purdy has more upside, but Jordan Love has been playing better football. So I'm going to go with Jordan Love.
Well, if we look, if we look at the last 90 days, the upward trend right now is on Jordan Love. The downward trend is on Brock Purdy. And as of a couple hours ago, Christian McCaffrey is on his way back to this team and will be activated apparently this week. I'm taking Brock Purdy as well because I don't want to buy a guy on his way up. I'd rather buy a guy on his way down and wait for the up cycle. And over the last 90 days, we've seen Purdy's cards come down a little bit. I think they will emerge after they figure out their core. They've got a bunch of guys hurt. I think
everybody's been injured.
I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll get a wide receiver from somebody as well. I could see them getting a guy like Mike Williams from the Jets, and they'll figure it out. Plus, there's going to potentially be some players available in Dallas. That's all I will say about that. All right, who's next?
All right, we've got do you want to do our curveball now or at the last one?
Let's do the curveball fourth.
Okay. We've got 2017 Topps Chrome Update, Aaron Judge, PSA 10.
Okay. Topps Chrome Update. This one right here?
Yes.
All right, PSA 10. All right, versus
2022 Topps Chrome Update, Bobby Witt Jr. PSA 10.
Oh, this is not even fair, bro. You know how much I love this. Is it this card right here?
I'm pretty sure. So they're like around the same. Yep.
$82.
Yes.
Whoops. Got the wrong. Okay, so 82 versus an 83. If you look over the last 90 days, of course, you've had a lot of bump in Aaron Judge. I am going to take Bobby Witt Jr. here because I think at $82, this card is going to be a card that I enjoy to look at, but it's also going to be a card that you could potentially buy 10 of. And if you're doing the $1,000 quote unquote move here, I think this card could sell for over $100 in next season as he makes a pretty decent MVP race. I think Aaron Judge has been Aaron Judge, but Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be a better version of himself. And I don't know if you know how old they are, but Aaron Judge is significantly older than Bobby Witt Jr. I believe Aaron Judge is 9 years older than Bobby Witt Jr. So let me fact check myself there. Aaron Judge, I believe, is 32 years old. He is 32 years old, and in April he will be turning 33. And I believe Bobby Witt
Jr. is 24 years old.
Yeah, so he's 9 years older than Bobby Witt Jr. Therefore, I will take Bobby Witt Jr. because I believe there's a lot ahead for this guy, especially once Aaron Judge starts declining and the Royals start excelling.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby Witt Jr. too because he is, like you said, younger, and his best days are ahead of him. And I know that Aaron Judge has been killing it, but with Bobby Witt Jr. only being 24 years old, like the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think that he's also playing a premium position for a lot longer as well. I could see Aaron Judge being a DH pretty quickly. If Giancarlo Stanton doesn't remain with the Yankees over the next couple of years, it's going to be Judge's DH to lose, basically. So,
well, especially on an error like in the World Series.
Yeah, you could see that body aging pretty quickly. So I am going to take Bobby Witt Jr. here. Plus, he grew up in my hometown. Plus, his dad was a Rangers fan. Or not a Rangers fan. He was a Rangers pitcher. So, all right, let's throw the curveball, my man.
All right, here we go. We've got 1990 Impel, Impel, Marvel Universe Spider-Man, number 29, PSA 10. Yes, that one.
The base.
Yes, that one is PSA 10.
All right, so Spider-Man.
We've got 1966 Topps, Batman number 1, and then it's a PSA 4.
All right. So this is something that we wanted to throw in here because it's just fun. It's just fun and funny to look at. And there are TCG cards are growing. I believe that with CGC and some other areas, these are growing like hotcakes in the market. So let's jump to a commercial before I jump into which one of these cards I would rather have. And then we'll be right back with you.
Yo, Lefty, we use a lot of data, don't we? Well, I just want everyone to know that they can get the same data we get by signing up at marketmoversapp.com. Sign up at marketmoversapp.com today, but use the promo code NOOFFSEASON to save 20% after a free 14-day trial. That's marketmoversapp.com, promo code NOOFFSEASON.
What would you rather do with $500? Would you rather buy a 1966 Batman Black Bat base number 1? Or would you rather buy a PSA 10 of a 1990s Impel Marvel Universe base card? I think for me, I would, and this is strictly coming from like my love for the nerdy side of things and my love for Marvel type stuff. But if you look at the all-time data, it even shows this to be correct as well. I would pick the Spider-Man right now because the top end seems to be more advantageous. Plus, I just like Spider-Man a little bit more than vintage Batman. I like modern Batman, but vintage Batman, like he just looks like a guy that's looking to scare people in his underwear. Like this doesn't look great. And I believe the comic side of things versus the Batman Black Bat card right here is actually a whether it's a drawing or something, it's of the live action Batman. It's not the cartoon. And the comic version of the Spider-Man, I think, is a more appealing long-term scenario than the vintage play version or the vintage movie version of Batman in 1966. Even though they're fairly the same pop count, one is 252, one is 220. I'm taking the average of the Spider-Man because over all time, the average is $734 and the overall time of the Batman is $346. So the top end, I think, is going to be with Spider-Man rather than Batman.
Even though I like Batman and I've loved the movies growing up, I'm going to go with the Spider-Man as well, just because of the fact that, like you said, it's kind of a more modern card, but also a card that like is a go-to because I'm pretty sure that this was the first year of Marvel cards. I could be wrong, but yeah, and that's a very iconic look. Like the Batman one, like if it were the Dark Knight Batman and like it was that, I would have definitely gone with that. But this guy's going to Halloween to grab some candy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, what's going on with this face here?
Right, he's not saving people. He's not fighting crime. He doesn't even have anything to protect him. No, but
where's his kryptonite? Where's the kryptonite to fight Superman here?
Right. He doesn't have any weapons on that belt.
No way.
No.
Look at this, and look at the traps on this guy. Holy moly! The traps
that guy's beating up Batman.
The traps looking. I meant the lats. The lats are the ones that are looking ridiculous.
All of the above.
But yeah, holy crap. This is crazy. All right, let's go Spider-Man. Is that the last gauntlet we have for the day?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is a purchase that I made this week, and I want to know whether you think it is, or where do you think the price of it's going to be during the NBA Cup, the Emirates NBA Cup. I bought a card this week that we talked about on the show with Paul, and I actually was like, I think I'm going to put some bids on it because I saw it, and I ended up winning this card a little bit more than I wanted to, but definitely less than where I think the card is going to end up with, whether it's going to be at the end of the NBA Cup or if it's going to be at the end of the playoff season. So this is the card that I ended up with. I'm going to put it on the screen here. I ended up with the 2020-2021 Panini Prism Anthony Edwards Silver PSA 10. I ended up getting it at $940. I sent it straight to the vault, so I paid no taxes and no shipping. Therefore, I paid $940 final price for it, which ends up putting, if we look at this, Anthony Edwards Silver. Oh, whoops, wrong card. If we look at the silver, it is right on with the low ball of it right now. And I don't think that this is going to be the case very long. So if you look at the PSA 10, the last sale was $900 because they don't have mine in here, but it's going to be right in here with the rest of them that are going to be right around here. I think we could see something rise to this level, 1.2, 1.5, 1.3, somewhere in there, if he does in fact win the NBA tournament, which I think that they will. I like the Minnesota Timberwolves odds because I said, like I said, I think they're going to flex this team a little bit. I think they're going to see what they have, and I think they're going to win the NBA tournament.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very good investment. And just for the fact that as long as they should make it out of their division, even if like they only make it 1 or 2 games into like the actual tournament aspect of it, that card's going up. And my example of that was Zion Williamson. Zion's cards went up last year, like whenever the Pelicans made like a decent run. I want to say that they made it out of their division and then won a game or two before losing to the Lakers. And Zion's card went up. Anthony Edwards' cards went bananas in the playoffs this year. And now his name is getting brought up like once again, like starting the NBA season, but then like with more coverage of the actual like in-season tournament, like that, I think that card will at least go to $1,200.
Well, good. Then I'll have made some money on that thing with a 200-ish price point. Even if it's 17% from the PSA vault, I feel good about that. All right, Turner, thanks for spending some time with me today. Any last thoughts you have for anybody that's out here listening to us in the podcast stratosphere?
All I'm going to say is go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. Duke's playing right now. We got the Cats playing right now. We've got A&M playing right now. We've got so much college basketball starting, and Monday Night Football is going to be going on tonight. Bucks, Chiefs. Here's a call. I think the Bucks win tonight.
That would be huge.
We'll see what happens.
On the island game, too.
On the island game, I think the Bucks win tonight. I don't know what the line is at. Let me go ahead and look that up real quick.
I don't know who Baker's going to throw to, though.
Hey, man. Baker is his own animal. Buccaneers plus 300. I'll take it. Okay. Actually, I will take Buccaneers plus 8. That's the bet that I would take. Buccaneers plus 8. I think that Cotton ends up having a big night, and he would be the guy that I would bet on for the anytime touchdown score. Anything you got else for me, Turner?
No, just I hope that you'll have a good week and enjoy watching some sports.
Love you forever. Peace.
Lefty, great work on today's show. Thanks for supporting Lefty Cards, part of the nooffseason.com sports card network. Get a free 30-day trial today at nooffseason.com to check out our formula-based sports card rankings to help you make money flipping sports cards. Subscribe to Lefty Cards on YouTube and follow us on socials by visiting leftycards.com.